The first thing that you need is a photograph of yourself. And you want to get a photo that either has a solid color background or just know that you're going to have to take the background out of it by using your selection tools. So first I'm going to start by creating a perfect square out of my photograph. And right now mine is a rectangle. It is taller than it is wider. I'm going to come over here to my crop tool on the left, and up here in the options, see where it says unconstrained right here? I can actually change this to a square. And then that means that anywhere that I drag the square, that's what it's going to create, is a perfect square for me. I could make it smaller if I needed to, or I could make it bigger. It's up to me. So I think I pretty much have that set. So I'm going to click OK because it has my face pretty close up in that photo. To apply the crop, I can either double click here, I can click the check mark, or I can click the arrow and hit apply. Lots of different ways to do it. So now I have a cropped photograph of myself, and I'm going to need to use my selection tools to take out the background. I'm going to press pause on mine. You can do the same on yours. You may not need to take out the background, but I do, and when I come back I'll have it out. Once I crop out the background, then I can create a new layer and I can fill it with white. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me try that again. There we go. And then I can rearrange the layers and I can merge them together. Now let's go ahead and duplicate this layer just in case we need to refer back to the original one. That makes it easy for us to find. I'm going to use the copy layer, and what we want to do is we want to change this image to grayscale. There's a lot of ways to do that, but the one where we have the most control is going to be if we go to the image menu, adjustments, and channel mixer right there. And I'll move that to the side. And if I check the bottom where it says monochrome, it will change it to a black and white photograph, and we can adjust our sliders so that the grayscale image has definite black and white areas with a range of grays in between. Each of your images may be a little bit different, okay? But just know that you can set these however you need to, okay? And then click OK. Next, we're going to need to do what's called posterize the image. So we're going to open our layers panel, and at the bottom find the button that says to create a new fill or adjustment layer. You'll get a pop-up window where you should change the number of levels to 5. So right here, and then I'm going to choose posterize, and I'm going to change the levels to 5 and click or enter, hit return or enter to set that value. Now we need to merge those top two layers together. You can select them if you want, or with my top layer selected, I can Command E and it will automatically merge it down with the one below it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create 4 different copies of this same grayscale photo, because we're going to apply something different to each one of them. One of them we're going to put on an analogous color scheme, so I'm going to go ahead and rename it that, analogous. We're going to have one that is a tetrad. one that is monochromatic. And then the fourth one, you can either choose warm or cool colors. I'm gonna just say warm or cool. You can, whichever one yours is, you can name it that, warm or cool. This is where you're going to need to then open up a way to help you choose a color scheme, whether it's the Adobe Color or something else. I'm going to choose Adobe Color. So I'm going to open that, and Adobe Color, and it's going to take me there. All right, now what you're going to do is you need to go ahead and choose basically 4 color schemes, okay? What I'd like you to do is decide what you want your base color to be, and then keep your base color the same for each one of them, and then choose your analogous, your monochromatic, your tetrad, etc., etc. Okay? So if I started there, it's already starting with my analogous, but there I can do that. Okay? I can set that apart. Notice down here at the bottom it gives me all of the codes, whether it's the RGB or whether it's the hexadecimal code for each number. You might want to get a piece of paper, or you can use Text Edit, which is just an easy text editing program. I would start with my, oh, it's not going to let me copy and paste. I guess I have to type everything. I would start with my base color, which is 0EFCFF, and then I can go and add all the rest. 0133FF, 018AE8, 01E889, and 00FF2A. So I know that would be my analogous. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and take a minute so that you get all the colors of all your 4 different color schemes. Okay, now that I have my color scheme all set up here in my text edit, and I've labeled each one of them, and then I even saved it so in case I don't finish it all in one day, I can go back. I'm going to minimize the website, and then I'm going to go back into Photoshop. And what I want to do is I want to use my magic wand and set the options so that my tolerance is 0. And remember that the lower the tolerance, the less it selects. I'm also going to uncheck all 3 of these boxes now. And I am going to sample the lightest color on my photograph and then fill in one of the chosen colors. I can use the paint bucket for large areas, the paintbrush to get into small areas, and then I'll select the next darkest shade, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to start with my analogous, and I am going to select the lightest color, which is obviously the white out here. And I'm going to put in my first color, which is this one here. So I can copy it and I can paste it, click OK, and I can fill it. Oops, I have to hide the other ones in order for me to see what I'm doing. There we go. And then I can deselect, and I can go and I can select the next color, which is, I'm going to say probably this. And you notice by unchecking contiguous, it selects that same color of everywhere. Okay, so then I'm going to come in and there's my text edit. I'm going to choose the next color and go to the color picker, paste it, click OK, and fill it, and then deselect. Then I'll click on that again, and I'll go to the third darkest color and figure out what my color is. Go to the color picker, paste, and then I can fill and deselect, and then here paste, and you can see how this is working through now. And then I have one more color, should be, there we go, and I can fill this with the last color in that color scheme. All right, and then deselect, and my analogous color scheme is complete. Now, you're going to do this with each of your color schemes. Each of your color schemes has 5 colors except for your tetrad, because remember, tetrad is 4 colors. So the only thing that's going to be different about the tetrad is you are going to leave the black, the darkest one, you're going to leave that black, okay? But at this point, now that you know how to do this, you are going to go ahead and continue with all 4 of these layers, and when you're done, come back to the video. The only thing that I'm going to tell you to do is don't make the light color the same color. So remember we had our base color. I used the base color for the white for the analogous. Choose a different color for the white. Otherwise you're going to wind up with it's not going to look as good. Okay, so different color for the white on each one. Don't make it the same color. Now that you have all 4 of these done, it's time to go ahead and make a new file. It's going to be File New. We're going to make this US paper. Go ahead and name it period number underscore your last name underscore Warholize yourself. Andy Warhol was a famous artist that made a lot of just normal photos pop with lots of color. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go in and I am going to duplicate each layer. I'm just going to go ahead and start with the top one, warm or cool. Mine of course is cool, so I'll go ahead and rename it that. I'm going to control click, duplicate layer. The destination document is going to be the new one you just created. Period your last name, Warholize yourself. And if you go here, you're going to see the photo up there at the top. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this until I'm done. I'm not sure if it'll duplicate. Oh yeah, it'll duplicate all at the same time. I will go ahead and do the rest of them and put them in there. They're all in the same spot now. Okay, since they're all in the same position, if you select all 4 of these layers at the same time and do Command T, we can use our options up here. You'll see W for width, H for height, and you know it's a perfect square. We want it to be half of the page, so that's going to be 4.25. If yours says a percent instead of inches, that's fine. All we have to do is type in the IN. So we're going to do 4.25 IN, and if we hit tab, then we can go to the next one, 4.25 IN. And then when we hit check, that's going to apply that same size to each one of them. And now you can spread them out so that they fill the page like this. And then what you're going to do, once you have them in the middle, you're going to label the top and the bottom of the bottom 2 so that you know which color scheme they are. After you're done labeling, go ahead and get your text tool again and finish by typing your full name at the bottom. Once your name and period number are there, save it as a Photoshop file to your schools folder and then save again as a JPEG.